What's going on, everybody? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Good morning, and let's dive right into today's video. So first up, shared by Cointelegraph, we have Bitcoin balance on exchanges hits an all-time low. And this is usually a bullish signal, and I'll explain why. So we can see the balance today, March 10th, is at 2.43 million BTC. So we have Bitcoin price in the yellow, and then we have the balance just slowly but surely coming back down. So obviously, this means that investors are withdrawing their Bitcoin away from exchanges, maybe putting it in different custody solutions or cold storage wallets. And logically thinking, whenever Bitcoin, or any asset for that matter, is withdrawn from exchanges, that makes it a lot harder to sell, so it makes it less likely to be sold quickly. So the supply is dropping, so less and less Bitcoin's able to be sold, and that means that demand can stay the same or even increase, and that's kind of what, I guess, the scenarios where we can see a supply shock out of nowhere. And you can look back in history whenever institutions are moving Bitcoin to custody, and Bitcoin or any asset becomes illiquid, it's set up for a supply shock. And we can see here we're down to 2.43 million Bitcoin, and previously we were just under 3.4, so almost 1 million Bitcoin has been withdrawn from exchanges. So not financial advice, of course, but this is usually a bullish sign, and this still depends on global liquidity and maybe even the ISM that we've gone over before. So we could still consolidate for a little bit, but overall this is bullish. Because when demand returns, there's even less Bitcoin on exchanges, and that's where supply shocks can happen. And even just looking at the ISM above Bitcoin, essentially the speedometer for how well the economy is doing. Are we growing? It's factoring in inventory and a bunch of other things. And this up here is essentially the business cycle. And we can see down below with the Bitcoin US dollar index on the weekly, we can see from March 2020, basically around that bottom, we got that big rise. Back in 2020, we had a bunch of quantitative easing, we had rates dropping near zero, etc. And that's roughly when Bitcoin exploded during that period, about 1,500% to the upside, right to that top. And some analysts actually say that you want to see the ISM peak, and as it's dropping down, we get one more big push up. So I guess you could argue that we did that one more high where there was bearish divergence, but either way, very interesting to see Bitcoin actually moving with the business cycle. Now, what's weird about recent years, we can see Bitcoin rising up, trending sideways, breaking out again, and kind of doing that over and over again until we got to that high, and then we crashed all the way back down to our 2021 tops. Whereas the ISM actually has just been ranging sideways up and down in this tight range. We haven't risen up to like even close to 60 this cycle. So not financial advice, but keep an open mind if and when the ISM does rise up. Because remember, we haven't had Bitcoin dominance crash yet, and during the last alt seasons, that was the crash, when Bitcoin dominance drops as Bitcoin, the US dollar price chart, is going up, making higher highs. And looking at those exact dates, and I know I've shown this a million times, those were the exact periods when XRP had the highest ROI. So we had the 2017 crash of Bitcoin dominance and the explosion, and then even last cycle, I mean, keep in mind this is during the lawsuit, we still did over 10x. Now zooming over, I'm saying it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean it won't. Bitcoin dominance has yet to budge. It's just creaking sideways. We had that drop and then nothing yet. If Bitcoin dominance is going to crash, and I absolutely don't want Bitcoin dominance to just go on a big run, because I don't think that would be good for alts at all. But if we're going to drop, I think we're doing conservatively a 25 to even 30% drop. And that would be very good for a lot of assets, including XRP. Alright, next up, in the meantime, yesterday I was on the XRP ledger page for rwa.xyz and looking at all, and we can see for Ondo we have $160 million in total value tokenized, and the 30-day percentage change is over 290%. And so now we can scroll down to the assets tokenized on the XRP ledger and click this Ondo short-term US government bond fund. As we come down, we can see that ETH is absolutely crushing it, the number one, but then XRP is number two in the green, and we got this big spike last month. So we had the XRP ledger down to like 30 million, then up to like 40 million, and then all the way up to 160 million. So I just wanted to point that out for the XRP ledger. We can see a 291% change from 30 days ago. And looking right here under all networks, we have the XRP ledger address, $139 million. So if you want to check this yourselves, you can go to the Ondo short-term US government bond fund page. We can scroll all the way down under tokens and then go all the way down to transactions right there. Then click the XRP ledger. And then over here we can see a bunch of info of during the token mints. So we have right here the token mints. Let me find it. Right here, so $119 million minted on the XRP ledger. So when we scroll over, we can see the date that this actually occurred, and this happened last month. So this is great to see, and this is a lot of money. Alright, next up, and I can't emphasize enough how important this is for anybody in the crypto space. If you've been trading crypto over the past few years, you're using multiple exchanges, multiple wallets, maybe DeFi, NFTs, moving assets between networks, taxes in the United States are a lot stricter today. Mainly because exchanges are sending the IRS detailed crypto transaction data using a form that's called Form 1099-DA, so the government, the IRS, is getting a lot more visibility into what's happening on centralized exchanges. And the big problem, like I already said, is most people's crypto history is a mess. If you are even just relying on Coinly and TaxBit today, it's not enough. If you're relying on Coinbase to give you an accurate cost basis, you're getting screwed and you're likely overpaying. And the thing is, if all of these transactions aren't properly reconciled, you're overpaying in taxes, you could even underreport gains, and even get audited by the IRS. So that's why I highly recommend Count on Sheep. I did an interview with these guys last year. You can just type in Kevin Cage, Count on Sheep. Some really good information in this, and this is also linked right in my link tree, the number 3 link, so be sure to check them out. They're based in the US, I believe they handle clients globally. I'm just emphasizing for US residents specifically because of the crypto tax changes. We can see a team of former Big 4 accountants, and then we can see a bunch of benefits down below. So they go through your entire crypto history, they clean everything up so that your reports are accurate, and you can just give them right to your CPA. Whether you have a small portfolio or a big one. And a really big deal that a lot of people don't realize or don't think about is if Count on Sheep is working with you and they find mistakes in your previous tax filings and say they found that you overpaid a bunch, they can actually amend prior tax filings going back up to 3 years, and some people actually discover they overpaid and then they get a big refund. So if you've been active in the crypto space at all, buying and selling whatsoever over the past few years, I highly recommend talking to them. And this is linked right in my link tree, the number 3 link. And as the years go on, this is going to become more and more important and really obvious. Alright, what else we got? So next, we have shared by Cointelegraph, we have Swift partners with BNY Mellon. This is Bank of New York, and I'm sure you guys remember the story years ago with Matthew Mellon, who had a bunch of XRP, and he passed away and lost all of it. Apparently he lost all of it. I assume somebody got it. But anyway, Swift is partnering with BNY to design a blockchain-based ledger for cross-border payments and tokenized assets. We have Joey Swoll down below posting this and saying, just going to leave this right here. Yes, BNY and Ripple are connected through a bunch of partnerships and collaborations in digital assets in the blockchain space. As we know, back in July of 25, Ripple selected BNY as the primary custodian for the reserves of their stablecoin, the Ripple US dollar. This relationship expanded further in January of this year when BNY launched tokenized deposit services for institutional clients, enabling on-chain, real-time settlement of digital cash equivalents. Ripple Prime, absolutely massive, remember they 3x their business, and they are a Ripple subsidiary, their previously Hidden Road, the prime brokerage, was an early adopter and participant in this initiative. Alright, next up, we also got news that Hashpack, the official wallet for Hedera, and their token pack is officially live on Kraken. And friendly reminder, now that today is already March 10th and this year is just flying by, we are basically 1 month away before the 2025 Roth IRA deadline for contributions. That deadline is going to be on April 15th, and your contribution limit for 2025 is $7,000. Now keep in mind, for 2026, it is up to $7,500. And a lot of people laugh at Roth IRAs when you look at its performance over a few years, but nobody laughs when you look at Roth IRA's performance over the decades. And that's exactly why I've had a Roth IRA with iTrustCapital, and this is linked in the video description to let everything grow tax-free. Thank you guys so much for watching. All links are in the video description. Hit that like button, and I will catch you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.